Before we bolt the doors and kill the lights, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because the algorithm is the only system still working right now, and you need this information to reach the people who matter. Imagine it is day 4. The power grid didn't just flicker. It died with a heavy, final thud. The water pressure in your taps is gone, replaced by a dry, hollow rattle. Outside, the silence of the suburbs has been broken by the sound of shattering glass. 3. Streets over. You are sitting in your living room clutching a baseball bat and a bag of freeze-dried food, waiting for the lights to come back on, waiting for the police, waiting for normal. That waiting is what will kill you. The world you knew, the one where help was a phone call away, has evaporated. The rules of that old world, politeness, visibility, trust, are now the very things that paint a target on your back. The biggest mistake you are making right now is assuming that your home is a castle. It isn't. To a desperate population, your home is a grocery store that hasn't been looted yet. You are suffering from the failure of normalcy, the delusion that the social contract is just paused. It is not paused. It is shredded. You need to stop thinking like a victim waiting for rescue and start thinking like an architect of survival. We are going to take that soft, vulnerable house of yours and turn it into a hardened, invisible fortress, using nothing but the items already in your drawers, basic physics, and a ruthless shift in psychology. We are going to strip away the Boy Scout fantasies and replace them with the cold, hard pragmatism of a ghost. Let's start with the most immediate failure point, your front door. You think you're safe because the deadbolt is turned, but you are wrong. That standard lock is held in place by half-inch screws drilled into a decorative piece of pine trim. One solid, adrenaline-fueled kick from a raider, and that wood splits like matchsticks, turning your front door into a welcome mat. The solution is in your toolbox right now. You need to replace those short screws in the strike plate and the hinges with 3-inch hardened steel screws. When you drive a 3-inch screw into the frame, you are no longer relying on the decorative trim. You are anchoring your door directly into the structural studs, the bones of the house. The physics change immediately. The force of a kick is now transferred to the entire wall of the house rather than a flimsy strip of wood. You have bought yourself time. And in a collapse, time is the only currency that matters. Once the perimeter is hardened, you must address the beacon you are inadvertently creating: light. In a world without street lamps, a single candle in a window can be seen for a mile. It screams that you have resources, warmth, and life. You need to implement total blackout discipline before you even strike a match. Grab your heavy wool blankets or thick cardboard and duct tape. You aren't just pulling the shades, you are taping the edges of the material flush against the window frame. This isn't about privacy, it's about physics. Light acts like a liquid. It will leak through the smallest crack. By sealing the edges, you prevent the halo effect visible from the street. The psychological shift here is crucial. You are choosing to live in the dark to remain invisible. You are trading the comfort of a view for the security of obscurity. Now let's talk about water, and specifically, the trap of the clean stream. You might see running water nearby and think it's safe, but that is a biological roulette wheel. In a grid-down scenario, sewage pumps fail, and every water source becomes a petri dish of cholera and giardia. Forget the boiling for a moment. Fuel is precious. Instead, look at the physics of condensation with a solar still. Go into your yard, dig a hole in the dirt, place a container in the center, and cover the hole with a clear plastic sheet, weighing down the center with a small rock directly over the cup. The sun heats the soil. Moisture evaporates, hits the plastic, condenses, and drips pure distilled water into your cup. It is slow, it is boring, and it is absolutely safe. It separates the water from the pathogens and heavy metals using the sun's energy, not your limited fuel supply. Speaking of fuel, you need heat, but you cannot afford the smoke. A traditional campfire is a signal flare that invites predators. You need to subvert the idea of the fire by building a Dakota fire hole. This requires a shovel and some sweat. Dig a vertical pit for the fire and then dig a second angled tunnel about a foot away that connects to the base of the fire pit. This acts as an air intake. When you light the fire in the vertical hole, the physics of convection creates a vacuum, sucking fresh air through the tunnel. This supercharges the fire, making it burn hotter and cleaner, effectively eliminating smoke. The fire is below ground, hiding the flame, and the smokeless burn hides your location. You stay warm, you cook your food, and the world outside has no idea you're there. Hygiene in this environment isn't about smelling like a meadow. It's about not dying from infection. But soap is finite, and smelling clean is actually dangerous. Scented shampoos are olfactory beacons to hunters and dogs. You need scent erasure. Take the cold white ash from your Dakota fire hole and mix it with a little water to create a paste. This is the primitive precursor to soap. The lye in the ash reacts with the oils on your skin in a process called saponification. It strips away the grease, the bacteria, and most importantly, the human scent. Scrub your body with this ash paste. It destroys the biological markers that accumulate on your skin. You won't smell like flowers. You will smell like nothing. You are removing the olfactory trail that leads predators to your door. You will eventually have to interact with others, and this is where the poison pill trade comes into play. If you are forced to barter, never, ever reveal your true inventory. If you have 20 cans of beef, you tell them you have 2, and you are willing to trade one because your kid is sick. This is the poison pill, a calculated lie designed to make you look like a liability rather than a loot drop. You are using the psychology of scarcity against them. If they think you are starving, they have no reason to raid you. Offer a trade. That seems slightly desperate. You are managing their perception of your value. In a world without law, being perceived as rich is a death sentence. Being perceived as barely hanging on is your camouflage. Finally, you must shatter your routine. The human brain craves patterns. We sleep at the same time. We walk the same paths. But a predator, human or animal, hunts by identifying patterns. You need to introduce pattern randomization. Never sleep in the same room 2 nights in a row. Never. Leave your shelter at the exact same time of day. If you are scavenging, take a different route home than the one you took out. By randomizing your behavior, you make it impossible for an observer to plan an ambush. You are using chaos theory as a defense mechanism. A target that cannot be predicted cannot be easily caught. You are forcing the predator to take a risk to find you, and predators hate risk. Survival isn't about the tactical vest you bought or the expensive knife on your belt. It is about the software in your head. It is the realization that the systems you relied on were fragile illusions. You have stripped away the need for validation and comfort, replacing them with the cold efficiency of physics and biology. You aren't hoping for rescue anymore because you understand that you are your own rescue party. The fear you felt at the beginning, that metallic taste of panic, it's gone, replaced by the quiet hum of calculation. Look out your reinforced window. Past the blackout, curtains. The street is dark, dangerous and silent, but you are not trembling. You have water distilling in the yard, a smokeless fire burning underground, and a door anchored to the skeleton of your house. You are no longer a part of the panicked herd. You are the gray man, the ghost in the machine, the glitch that refuses to be deleted. You have survived the failure of normalcy because you accepted the reality of chaos. Now tell me in the comments, what is the one item in your house right now that you would repurpose first if the grid went down tonight? Let's see who is really paying attention. Like and subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the curve. Stay hidden, stay sharp.